G'day, it's Craig here, and I want to show a couple of hints and tips on resealing the inside of your fridge. Now, what's happened with this one is the customer has used something quite acidic and tried to clean the bottom of the fridge out, and unfortunately what happened is it's deteriorated the silicone, which is no big deal. I mean, it's just part of maintenance. You can reseal these fridges. They're really easy to do. So I'm just going to show you a couple of simple things on how to do that. Now, first off, when cleaning fridges, it's best to use something like a fridge clean or something that's designed to clean the inside of your house fridge, and use the same for your camping fridge. I mean, yeah, anything caustic or really acidic that's no good for silicone will end up eating the bead of silicone that's around the bottom. So just remember that when you go to clean it, you know, use a good quality fridge cleaning solution like a vanilla fridge or something that's not harsh. And look after the inside of the fridge. If it ever happens and the silicone does go off or something's got in there and cause it to raise, it's just so simple, easy to fix. A couple of things. I sometimes use this. Now, this is a silicone remover, and you can get that once again from electronic stores or like J-Cars or Bunnings and stuff, but it's not an absolute necessity, but you can put this on if it's really stubborn, but I'm talking about silicone that's nice and easy to peel off, but that's always something to use. We want some wax and grease remover or some sort of surface cleaner like methylated spirits, something that's not going to leave a residue that we're going to clean up to use after we've peeled all the silicone off and got rid of everything. So that's pre-putting the silicone on. I normally have a couple of rags handy. A reasonably, you know, it's not too harsh that's going to hurt the aluminium in the bottom of the lining of the fridge, but you know that'll also help brush away some of the leftover silicone. And also a little, one of these, it's designed to actually when you're rebeading the silicone, but I find this is really good for peeling it off too. So a couple of things you could think of using, but something soft. You don't want to hurt the aluminium. Remember, it's really soft inside the fridge. And then the silicone itself, I normally just buy a small tube rather than it go off, but something like a good roof and gutter sealant that stays nice and flexible. That's a waterproof seal. Now, of course, if you want, you can use a food grade silicone if you're going to put food directly into the fridge without any containers. I don't know too many people that would do that, but hey, if you want to go ahead and do that, I just use a roof and gutter sealant, and I will quickly show you how we go about doing that. Okay, so when you're using some of the chemicals, I do suggest rubber gloves if you've got sensitive skin. You know, some people get a bit of a rash from even wax and grease remover, so it's just, you know, something to think of as well as silicone, and it's easy to clean up afterwards. So as we can see on this one here, the whatever they've used to clean the fridge out has melted the silicone here, and it's all in a really dilapidated state. So we're going to clean that, rectify that, and put a brand new seal on. It's going to be as good as new. So just start off by peeling all the old silicone away. As I said, using a plastic type tool, you know, won't damage the bottom of the fridge, but what you can do is just go along the edges where it's lifted up, and we just pull all the used chunks of silicone away. From the inside of this fridge. In this particular case, whatever they used was quite harsh, so the silicone's coming away very, very easily, so we just want to get rid of all that. You know, sometimes, as I said, you can even use a little bit of a brush there. Sometimes the brush really gives a really, really good help. Sometimes you can use this the sealant remover, and that's quite an easy one, so you can spray that on. Make sure you're in a well ventilated area. Spray it on all the hard to get stuff. Okay, and I'm going to leave that for a good half an hour, 45 minutes, but you only really need to use this if it's handy for you to get. Otherwise, you can get all the silicone off, but once again, read all the warning labels. It is an aerosol spray, so but I find it really handy getting rid of all the extra stuff. It saves me a lot of time. Now, what I'm going to do, I've peeled, as you saw, I've peeled all the silicone off. Now I just want to get a bit of wax and grease remover or something to just get rid of any leftover silicone that's going to stop the new lot of silicone sticking. So it's just a tiny little bit. I'm just going to wipe the edges now that I've pulled all that silicone out. Okay, so all my silicone's out of the bottom. We've got a really nice clean surface for the rest of that silicone to adhere to. Now on the small baskets, this fold here doesn't really need any silicone because that's a complete bend of steel. So I'm really aiming for this bottom section here where the previous person once again said use something really caustic on there and it lifted all the silicone off. Now this is great, this stuff. I just got this from the hardware store as well. And it's nice, it's great because it's nice and easy to get into the in there as well, rather than use a caulking gun. So I'll just start in one corner like this, and I'm just going to put a bead of silicone, keep a fair bit of pressure against this side of it. And just with my glove, I'm just going to go and I'm going to spread it along nice and neat. So if you have a quick look in there, I've just done a really nice neat little seal all around the inside of the fridge. So once that's all done, just throw away the gloves, and there you go. So that's the easiest way. Now, I normally let it sit for 24 hours or so, or as long as you possibly can, let that silicone fully seal. Another couple of hints is make sure once you've pulled the silicone off, maybe leave the fridge out to dry for quite some time in case any residue from the previous cleaner that you've used has gotten in the sides. So leave it all open, leave it all ventilate. Just let it go like this, and that way it's going to be ready for you next time you go to camp, and that's how you reseal it. So no need to panic if you ever damage the silicone or something happens and the silicone comes out. It's just as easy as doing that. So so once again, thanks very much for watching the video. If you don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell doodle-acky thing, and don't forget to leave some comments if you've got other ways to do it or something you think's better or something I may have missed. Let's discuss it, and please leave a comment. Cheers.